So movement 5 is wrapping up and letting go. So this can be a really difficult process. Um, will your guide be imperfect? Will some access needs fall through the crack? Will you make mistakes? Will you bump into barriers in terms of finite capacity and the guide writing process itself? To all of these things, the answer is yes. You will definitely find yourselves in situations where one example from my experience is it's an example about feeling guilty about kind of what I would call quote unquote bad access information. I was always at the hotel that I was auditing before the restaurant opened. It was like a pub style restaurant. It only opened in the evenings. So I was like, that part of the guide was created not from an actual audit, but from peering in the windows and then poring over the photos that were on the hotel website to figure out, okay, what kinds of seating types are available? What does the lighting seem to look like? So it felt very partial. But that is something you just, in some cases, you need to just let that be what it is. You may, in writing up the guide, realize, oh, I wrote down this information for one part of the site, but I did not even gather it for another part of the site. And you may not have time to go back yet one more time. Um, so these are just things to accept and give yourself permission for, because at the same time, more access information is more access information. And it's less access labor for disabled colleagues to be joining our professional spaces. So having done some of this work toward the guide is really adding a lot to an inaccessible situation or a potentially inaccessible situation. There can always be more to do. So one sort of happening that I like to tell the story about as much as I possibly can is at the Four Cs in Pittsburgh, a bunch of disabled attendees wrote Post-it notes about all of the ways that they experienced the conference as inaccessible, because the signs got a little bit overzealous and hubristic, and the signs were saying this conference is accessible, period. And if you haven't read it, Neil Simpkins has written a wonderful analysis of this Post-it note protest. Really recommend everyone check it out. The takeaway for me is that accessibility is never finished. It can be really helpful to embrace in the guide itself and for your own practice, a rhetoric of non-mastery and of ongoing striving and continual community care. So I'm getting a little idealistic and like abstract at the end, but I really genuinely believe it. It's a really important, I think, framework for informing your practice, especially at the end where you're like, oh gosh, out of time, got to wrap it up.